share with you my experience from where to stay when you arrive in Palenque, Chiapas, Mexico. Provide you guys the info, and you guys can use that info to decide on where you want to stay when you arrive in Palenque. So in a high level view, this city itself is located up here in the concentrated bookmarks. But highlighted 3 activities that I would recommend when you do visit Palenque. These are 3 waterfalls or cascadas, and you can expect to pay for a tour to visit all 3. You can expect to pay between 500 to 700 pesos, or about $30 to $40 Canadian. It's along the same route, so it's kind of convenient just to hit up all 3. So the 3 are, first being Cascada Misol. So this is 30 minutes from Palenque Central, or from Palenque the city. And then the second is Cascada Roberto Barrios, which is 1 hour from the city. And third is Agua, Azul, which is 1 hour and 30 minutes from the city. So if you do visit these waterfalls or cascadas, I'd recommend that you either go in a group or meet people the hostels go with, or if you're on the tour, bond with the people that happen to be on your tour, just so that when you're at these waterfalls, you have a group and you have people, you guys can watch each other's stuff, because theft is more highly occurring in the Chiapas region, because the region just happens to be poor, so crime and theft happen to go hand in hand with those elements. Or just don't bring any valuables at all, because I know some people at the hostel, they had their stuff stolen when they went into the waterfalls, and then when they came back, their phone or their bags were not there anymore. So be careful. If you do decide to go into the waters or go swimming, either be in a group and have someone watch your stuff, or just don't bring any valuables at all. Into a zoomed in view of Palenque, the first highlighted point that I want to cover is our Adio bus terminal, which is circled in red here. There's no airport in Palenque. The most common way to get to Palenque is by the Adio bus. So here is where you arrive, and most likely here is where you will depart from. To get to an airport, you have to use the Adio bus to visit a nearby city like Villa Hermosa, which is a city upper to Palenque, and it's the most common city, or the closest city for an airport. So what I would recommend is to stay near the Adio bus station. So there is an area called Zona Hotel Turistica, which is what I've highlighted purple here. So it's convenient for when you arrive and when you leave. You can walk 5 minutes across the street to reach your accommodation. Again, be careful regarding Adio. Be careful, there is routine theft that occurs on the Adio buses to Palenque. This is where my iPhone 13 Pro was stolen when I used the overnight Adio bus. When I fell asleep, later using Find My app and putting it into lost mode, the app detected that the thief turned the phone on in Palenque. Like, it was detected located in Palenque. So I think the thieves live here in Palenque, and they have a routine where they steal stuff on the Adio bus to and from Palenque on the bus rides. Because after talking to several people on the hostels, they found that, either one, their stuff was stolen, or second, they found that their stuff was like looked through, like it was ruffled up, and it wasn't placed the way it initially was. And then funny thing is that when I also Googled it, there's stories on TripAdvisor, Reddit, that was like 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, or even a couple months ago, where they detailed, my stuff was stolen on the Adio using the route to Palenque or somewhere in Chiapas. So compared to the other cities, I would say, well, you should always be careful with your belongings, but in Chiapas, I would recommend being very hyper aware and hyper cautious with your belongings. I'll cover different ways on how you can on safety and security measures in a separate video. But we'll get back to the topic of where you can stay when you're in Palenque. So staying in this purple highlighted area, the Zona Hotel Turistica. Here, you're 5 minutes walk to Adio. The one I found myself most often using was the one across the highway, which I circled orange up here. You also have access to a giant supermarket, Tetrawi, which I've highlighted orange up here. So up here is a 7-minute walk from our hotel zone. To Oxo is a 5-minute walk. And then in this hotel zone, it's about 5-minute walk to the Adio bus terminal as well. And then if you want to access the streets that are more have more locals and more local stores, as well as access to the Telcel store, which I highlighted blue in here, and the Banco BBVA, which I've highlighted blue to our far right. And that's a 10-minute walk from our hotel zone. This orange line that I've highlighted at the bottom here, this orange line shows a lively street used by the locals with different stores and restaurants lined up along the street. So if you guys found this video useful, consider giving it a like, consider subscribing. If you want to stay tuned for future videos that might be helpful, consider sharing the video to anyone who you know might be visiting Palenque soon. And if you have any tips and comments for Palenque, I would love to read them in the comments below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.